And our next session is led by Yousuf Dashqooni. He's the head of governance and business solutions at Wasl Group. He will be speaking on customer journey from digital to intelligence. Yousuf has more than 10 years of experience in the field of information security, leading major initiatives, implementation between technical and governance. He believes IT solutions can have a positive impact on driving the future of services and excellence in the city and drive innovation empowered with value and AI. So please welcome on stage Mr. Yousuf Dashqooni, and let's give a big round of applause.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. I'm not good to use to this mic close to my mouth like this. Thanks for the introduction. Again, one more time, very brief, Yousuf. I am working in Wasl Asset Management Group. It is known to some of you as Wasl Properties, looking for the digital transformation, empowering it with intelligence. As you can see from the topic, I'm going to cover in the few minutes, 20 minutes slot given to me, about how to empower the customer journey with the intelligence. Digital, no doubt that you need to enable the digital journey for the customer. However, if you would like to get the competitive edge in the market today, you need to focus on the intelligence. So that will be my topic. Hopefully it will be informative to all of you. Just a market fact, which is, I think, is known to all of us as of today. You know that demand is shift to the customer. As a personal experience, today, if you would like to buy anything from e-commerce platform, if you are looking for your property, you have access to plenty of data. You can have insight to the data. You can read the review of the people in the market before taking a decision. So today, the demand is shifting to the customer, not as a decade back or 2 decades back. Similarly, if 15 years back or even 20 years back, if you are looking for the property, you will struggle or fine dining or even a hotel. Similarly, if you would like to serve an online for an e-commerce, it will be very limited to such like an Amazon. However, if you come today, the supply is much more than the demand in most of the sectors. That is the fact today. The power with the customer, the demand with the customer. Therefore, the customer journey, we should look to the customer journey in different way. Not only in the digital mobile app or website, which will be my focus in today's presentation. Most of the ads, we can see it in the Facebook, on most of the surrounding ads, that if you want to make your business powerful, if you want to grow your business, don't wait, launch your mobile app. That is a fact, no doubt, but that is not the way forward. Or please start your office in the business pay. Hurry. It is very limited offer. That is the most ads in the market talking about those two concepts. Launch your mobile app within 24 hours, this cost subscription, or open your office in business pay. You don't need to pay anything. But again, this is not the way forward. What is the way forward? That is the topic of my presentation today. Before we jump to the core topic of the presentation, just let's talk in 2 slides about the customer experience. What we mean about the customer experience. Most of us, they had their early morning coffee today. What do you think make more sense to us? Is it the coffee maker? Or is it the feeling and experience with the coffee, the taste, the welcoming message, the pickup? Which one you think, 1 or 2? The coffee maker or the experience? 2? Or the price? So, actually, for personal experience or the people who had everyday coffee or tea, I think what makes more sense is not the coffee maker. You don't care about how they make the coffee, from where they brought the bean. It's all about the experience. And the experience cannot be leveraged to the customer by having an app or digital best out-of-the-art solution. That cannot be fulfilled as of today. How it can be fulfilled, I'm going to talk about it in the coming slide. Most of us, they watch the history and how McDonald's been established on documentary on Netflix. It is available. And McDonald's, they always differentiate themselves in the market, even they are a fast food. There is a strategy called the strategy of differentiation. It is a complete philosophy how the company can differentiate themselves from differentiator, not only from the regular strategy, plan, structuring, resource, budgeting. That is something else. So if you look to the McDonald's, they are always pioneer. One of the first fast food and restaurant, they added the drive-through service. They added the kids meal in their menu. They always differentiate themselves. They make something different from the other competitors. They are moving from red ocean to the blue ocean. Also, we all recognize few years back, they start opening Mac Cafe. Because a lot of the people, they criticize McDonald's for the healthy food or unhealthy food. So they start also opening Mac Cafe. And also recently I'm saying a few years back, they start having self-service kiosks. That is the differentiation. That is the experience. That cannot come to the customer journey through an app or digital solution. Why? Why we need to refine our digital service? Actually, I hear that I cannot see my presentation at the front of me. I need to keep there. Okay. Why do we need to refine our digital service from digital to intelligence? First of all, if you look for the digital, if you launch an e-service with a rich backend service being published to the front end, or you have your mobile app, and we always claim we are branchless, it will not make sense because that will be always an isolated experience. You have an app, ask the customer to seek for the service, submit the service, or inquire for something. When you come to the intelligence, it's completely different. You track the behavior, you know his preference before you can even predict his next click before even he clicked it. That is totally different. It cannot be delivered by asking the developer to do some programming. When you come to the digital, there is no personalization. You consider everyone in the room same. You have a web digital platform asking the people to serve and search for their services. However, when you come to the intelligence, there was always personalization for the person who landed to your service. Either it is a physical or it is a service. Multiple technology solution, this is a technical, I don't want to go in detail. We were always empowering our servers by the native app, iOS, Android, web. But we don't recognize there was always different experience and the delay in the service from one app to other app. If you would like to have intelligence, seamless experience, you need to think differently even in the technology. And I'm not here to talk about which technology, and that's not the purpose of the presentation. Before we jump to the core of the presentation slide, we need to think that in the customer journey, when we talk about intelligence, not digital, we need to shift from selling process to the buying process. What do we mean by selling process and buying process? When you come to the selling process, we are very product obsessed. You have an e-service, you enrich it with plenty of picture, irrespective of that line of the business, and you ask the customer to enjoy your e-commerce platform. When you come to the buying process, you put yourself in you shadow your customer, you always have a customer obsessed. The end user are at the front of everything. You know their preference, you know why they are visiting you twice in a day, you know what they like, you know which communication channel you would like to interact with them. One of the mistakes most of the company do, they interact with every customer in the same way. They drop an email or they send an SMS. You cannot. Some people, they preference only with the social media, Facebook. You should communicate with them with the Facebook. You should reach to this level of customer experience. When we talk about selling a process, we talk about logical and digital. What we mean by logical, you list your product, nice layout, nice design, that's it. However, in the selling process, buying a process, you talk about psychological and about intelligence. You should understand the customer behavior. You should be able to present the product in the feeling, what is feeding them, touching their heart. That cannot be by launching a mobile app. You need to shift your customer journey and thinking from digital to intelligence. There is a lot of technology and technique, and that is not what I'm going to talk about. If we can talk after the session about what are the technologies that can support this. In the selling process, they always like the fairness. We are always fair, we are always equal. We treat everyone same. One app for everyone. That is not the case. In the buying process, you always personalize the experience and content. You even track his Facebook cookies. When he lands to your page, you welcome him in his own language. It could be French or Arabic or English. That is the future of customer journey engagement. Now it's the core of the presentation. I have only 11 minutes. I will move a little bit fast. When I mean toward intelligence, not toward digital, in the customer life journey, what I mean by this? We are focusing in our company on mainly three things. The customer centricity, how to empower the experience with intelligence and value proposition, how to attract him with something big, how to retain him with increment value. And then we talk about data-driven, how we can have an insight to the data in order to keep the customer. This is a typical customer journey, which is known to all of us, not something unique. It starts by the marketing operation, that laser is not working. It starts by the marketing operation, sales operation, and support service. And the market operation, you focus on the attract. Someone is seeking for the product. How you brought him, how you reach him. Okay, you have SEO, you have paid digital, you have paid SEO. You will bring him to become a visitor. What next? He will land to your website. What next? You will wait him to leave. He may buy, he may not buy. How you make him to take a decision? That is about the intelligence. To empower your digital platform by the intelligence, by the engagement. And then you talk about the shopper, how you make him shopper, which is intended buyer. Then you shift to become a customer, how to qualify the lead, how to qualify him. That is the customer journey. If you don't empower this one with the intelligence from attract till retain, you will always lose the market acquisition. You cannot compete in today's market where supply is more than the demand. And this customer journey need to be empowered with the principle. This is a principle, ladies and gentlemen on the panel, they were talking about the customer experience, the artificial intelligence, the intelligence policy, and the most important, monetize the data. If each of them, it requires an hour to discuss about it, which we don't have the time today. I will be focusing on those three main pillars and very fast. And how to attract, how to sell, how to retain. I can see the time is passing. The first thing, when you come to the attract, which is the marketing operation, it is very important that every data set we capture about this seeker or shopper or visitor or shopper, it is very important that we feed it to our data lake and we empower it with AI. Because you just imagine today, you spend a lot in digital marketing, you generate thousands or millions of leads. Do you think you have an army of people like the people we have here to contact every lead? That is not the experience. Most of the company, they lose the SLA for the lead. Most of the company, when they call the lead, he is traveling. He said, call me back. Nobody will call him back. That is the old, even though you have very good digital solution. But it will not work. You need to empower the whole journey of the marketing qualification, lead scoring. I will present more in the coming slide by the AI and the data lake. And this is something we are in the company today working, and we are building the whole systems like this for every lead. So the funnel is all about that. Today you cannot depend on a human. You cannot depend on human to human to complete the deal. You need to have machine to machine or machine to human at the first stage, then machine to machine. So I think some of the also icon is not coming. So the whole idea that during the customer life cycle, especially the first, the attract, where you are going to attract the seeker, bring him to become a visitor, shopper, then intended buyer, which is marketing qualified lead. That cannot be today by using digital platform. You need to have intelligent platform empowered with AI to qualify the lead, to score the lead. And once it qualify the lead, you cannot depend on people to call that lead. You need to depend on the machine to machine to contact and communicate. This is a typical example that how you can fetch the data from every data set, you put it on the data lake, you create the data pool, you start building your customer segment, and you start the next stage. In the next stage, you will start to prioritize the lead. And once you prioritize the lead, once you score the lead, then the question is who will approach the lead? Is it a human? How many human you will hire? So it is actually in the today market condition with more supply, more competition, unless you don't empower the customer life cycle journey with intelligence, you don't empower it, you will always lose the acquisition. You need to think to the market acquisition, how much you want to get, 5%, 10%, or 20%. And that's the end where you need to have personalized sales pitch using the intelligence solution. Now the question, how, what are the technique? This is a different topic, different discussion. Today we're just talking about the principle. If you look about the few slides back, it was only covering the first three elements. It's attract till convert. However, once the customer is imported to become a customer, then what? Most of the companies, they have fantastic digital solution for the voice in the call center, for the e-service. They have a lot of a fantastic solution. However, still the churn rate is very high for their customer to go for the competitors because they don't have a single source of a truth for the customer, what we call it customer 360. And nowadays, even the concept changed to become customer 720, where you can predict and you can submit the service to the customer before even he asks. Even a 360 will become obsolete after a while. So it is, unless you don't have a single source of the customer across all the channel. Most of the organization, they have multiple line of the business. That's the company that I work for. We have golf, we have fine dining, we have hospitality, we have residential, commercial. The customer can be customer across all this line of the business. He communicate to you across all the services. He drop an email, he call the call center, he communicate on the social media. If you don't have a single source of truth to know about this customer, his behavior, his satisfaction, using an AI tool, using a live dashboard, you will always struggle with this customer and he will be struggling with you. And once you have single source of the customer, enriched, empowered on daily basis, what is the next? You should know how to communicate back with this customer during the customer journey in order to retain him. The communication back with the customer, as I mentioned at the beginning, it should be personalized to him. You cannot communicate the same way with all the customer. It has different education, different background, different nationalities, different gender. They prefer their own way of communication. Someone is communicating, submitting an inquiry on email, you cannot respond back on WhatsApp or social media, and vice versa. So it is very important that we have this strategy of customer analysis, understanding the customer, how to communicate with him across the whole journey. This is a typical example when we talk about the ecosystem during the customer lifecycle journey. If today you created your data lake, you have created your leads, you have lead management, lead persona, what next? That should be an automated way, an intelligence way, submitted to the next platform that it can attract this customer. By attracting him, it need to follow up. It keep to track that email that has been sent to him or communicated to him. You cannot depend more on a human to human for the customer life journey. You need to empower your digital solution with the intelligence. And this is one type of the intelligence. There is a plenty of use cases. This is very high level. Similarly, if the customers landed to your customer touch point, it could be physically in the branch, or it could be in your website, e-service, mobile app. Once he landed to your touch point, from the seconds he landed there, you should track his behavior. You should build his portfolio. You should understand his satisfaction level. Does he was able to get his service and how many click stream? That is all about the customer life cycle. It's not about the digital enhancement. In order to retain the customer, once you have all this information, it's very important to understand how to retain the customer. We always say attract big and retain on increment. When you attract the customer, you give him big thing. When you would like to retain him based on the satisfaction level, you always give him increment on the proactive manner without him to asking you. How you will do this in the digital without empowering the whole journey with the intelligence, which is, again, not an easy thing. It requires a lot of efforts, a lot of working. Personally, in Wasl, one of the strategic partnerships we done recently was with Sprinkler. We have very big project, very big sport. By the way, Vaishna, this is marketing for you. Okay, we are doing one of the big initiatives with them to have a single source of the customer across all the channel communication. We are building an ecosystem integration with our data lake for the machine-to-machine integration and targeting the customer, analyzing his behavior. It is a huge project we are working with them just to achieve the objective of shifting from digital to intelligence. I almost reached the last minute. I done it on time. Maybe I was talking a little bit fast. That's it. I wish for all of you a great day, and thanks for listening. Thank you very much.